with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. 7 months after their arrests, almost 20 charges have been laid against the 4 people involved in the guns and explosives investigation at a North London home. 2 of the accused were in court today. Our Nick Paparella was there.
As it moves along through the court system, all 4 of the accused charged after a London police raid at this Chesham Place home continue to make court appearances. The only 2 who remain in custody are 27-year-old Jerry Tong and 26-year-old Fei Han, who appeared in court on Wednesday. The other 2, 27-year-old Zikun Wang and 21-year-old Fei Yang Ji, are both out on bail. All 4 were arrested after officers found weapons and explosives at the North London house following a break-in on campus in the engineering department at Western University in January. Facing charges that range from possession of a firearm to manufacturing weapons, the Crown this week added 19 new offenses, bringing the total against all 4 of the accused to 31 counts, including possession of stolen property. CTV News reached out to the lawyers for 3 of the accused and learned that preliminary hearing or trial dates may soon be confirmed and that they are expected to be held sometime in the new year. Meanwhile, all 4 have their next court appearances slated for later this month or September. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
In another courtroom, a 44-year-old St. Thomas man charged with a number of sexual-related offenses has been released from custody following a bail hearing today. Gregory Zare, who faces charges that include sexual assault, forcible confinement, and kidnapping following an incident involving a woman in London in June, was released with a number of conditions that include residing in a home in Hamburg, Ontario. He's also not permitted to have access to a computer or the internet and is prohibited from possessing weapons. He is scheduled to be back in court on September 24th. Police say the explosion that leveled a West London home last month is not criminal in nature. The blast at 131 Baseline Road West rocked the neighborhood in the early afternoon on July 29th. 1 man was rushed to hospital with critical injuries. A natural gas line was still connected to the building as the owner was looking for a tenant. The property was known to have squatters and homeless individuals present. The investigation remains ongoing. An independent appeal board has ruled that 5 players from Canada's 2018 World Junior team, acquitted last year of sexual assault, breached Hockey Canada's code of conduct. The board recommended that Alex Formanton be reinstated immediately. The other 4 will remain suspended. Cal Foote until November of this year, Carter Hart until 2027. Dylan Dubé can be reinstated in 2028 and Michael McLeod in 2030. The 5 were charged with sexual assault in connection with an alleged incident that occurred in 2018 in a London hotel room. All men were acquitted of the charges last summer. They were reinstated by the NHL late last year, but only Carter Hart played in the league. A rally was held in London today over cuts to school bus monitors serving students across the region. As Rita Ismail reports, the Teamsters Union says about 67 monitors are expected to lose their jobs this summer, raising concerns about safety on buses carrying special education students.
School bus drivers and monitors rallied in London today over planned reductions to student transportation monitor positions. They're calling on school boards to rethink cuts that they say could put students and drivers at risk.
It's going to be very scary for the kids, and it's also going to be very scary for the drivers that require a monitor on the bus.
The Teamsters Union says about 67 monitors are expected to lose their jobs this summer following cuts by the Thames Valley District School Board and London District Catholic School Board. Most monitors work on buses carrying special education students.
They're there to support the students primarily, but also to support the drivers. Sometimes we do have some violence on our buses, and the monitors are there to intervene.
Voyaga, which employs the monitors and provides transportation services to both school boards, notified staff of the changes in an email on July 31st.
Without monitors, our drivers aren't safe.
We don't have anyone to protect us from distraction, and we don't have anyone to help us if one of our students is having a meltdown. That can actually be dangerous to the other students and to ourselves.
For many of the monitors who've been doing the job for many years, the role is also about building relationships.
It's very enjoying to get to know these children that need us, and the drivers need us because they can't watch the students. They can't see over top of the seats.
Teamster Canada says the monitors earn $18.60 an hour on split shifts, and they don't receive paid days off. The union says the cuts could leave drivers dealing with dangerous situations on their own.
It puts drivers in an impossible situation, and it puts the students themselves at risk. And that's why we're calling on the government, we're calling on the boards of education to reverse these cuts. There's fat to trim, but it's not out here.
Voyago says it will continue to communicate updates to its employees as more information becomes available. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
CTV News reached out to TVDSB and was told there is no one available to comment today. And as of deadline, the Catholic Board has not responded to our requests for comment either. Worried parents and principals have been asking City Hall to increase the number of school crossing guards across the city. But a council committee heard that a budget crunch has seen 30 recent requests denied. CTV's Daryl Newcomb brings us the details.
These are genuine safety concerns. So why are we not footing the bill?
City councillors echoing the concerns of parents and principals about the need for more school crossing guards and traffic calming in school zones.
The public wants to see that we're paying more attention to safety around schools, and we are doing that in some regards. However, we are falling short in other regards.
City engineers have initiated the first update to the city's criteria for choosing crossing guard locations in 13 years. Currently, London City Hall pays $1.6 million each year for 106 locations. There have been requests for 30 additional locations from the public just since 2023, but staff say there's been no additional money in the budget.
We've essentially been communicating that the budget is maxed out.
But yet we're not having the discussion about how to increase the budget to be able to meet these needs. I want us to think back to how many new schools have been built in our community since that time.
The committee asked about immediately tapping into a reserve fund, but the city treasurer advised that the cost would be better suited to property taxes.
Currently, the property tax dollars pay for ongoing costs, so it's not something that the staff would recommend to use one-time dollars.
Even as the review of the crossing guard policy takes place, City Hall has a separate, already initiated program to install traffic calming in every school zone.
It's just a matter of the resources to get that done. It worked just a number of years, 5, 6, 7 years out to getting all of those done.
But Councillor Rahman suggested young students at many schools, especially those recently constructed, shouldn't be waiting.
We have dire traffic needs in these subdivisions where we've put new schools, and we do not have traffic calming mitigations, nor do we have the ability to fulfill requests for school crossing guards. Council
will consider the first step in the crossing guard program's review on August 25th. A second report will come in spring 2027. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
At the time, it was a demonstration to draw attention to those suffering in the shadows. Now it looks like a group of people who could predict the future. Jerry Dewan has more on the 25th anniversary of the Unity Project's Tent City protest.
In August of 2001, a small group of people took over Campbell Memorial Park. The Unity Project Tent City was used to demonstrate the plight of those who were homeless in the city.
We're trying to say that it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a reality, and we're going to have to deal with it.
The Unity Project was spearheaded by a group of young people, including co-founder Chuck Lazenby. At the 25th anniversary event commemorating the Tent City, Lazenby stressed the message remains the same.
Supporting people experiencing homelessness is vital in our community.
Lazenby says issues contributing to homelessness continue to grow, with the spread of cheap, highly addictive drugs chief among them. Lazenby says the affordability crisis has also left many struggling to find stable accommodations. She says governments at all levels were slow to react.
We could really
construct our society in a way that housing is a right, that we have policies that reflect that right.
Jax has been supported by the Unity Project for 16 years. She met her husband there. Facing significant medical issues, she says it was a lifesaver for her.
Felt like home. It wasn't like any other shelters, and they made you feel welcome.
The Unity Project team started operating their own shelter in 2018 and are working towards opening a new facility to support those facing poverty and addiction, but they're not looking towards another quarter-of-a-century anniversary.
We do not want to be here in 25 years. Things has to be different.
A monument reminding visitors about those who die on London streets was placed in Campbell Memorial Park in 2013. Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
Mayoral candidate Kristen Kraus has announced that she will not be accepting campaign donations from developers.
My family has ties through their construction supply company here in London to developers, and I really wanted to keep my campaign very independent. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't soliciting or accepting money that would make me feel pressured or compromise my ethics.
She is, however, holding an out-of-town fundraiser at the Albany Club in Toronto next month. Established in 1882, the political club describes its membership as having a range of conservative values. But Kraus says the fundraiser was organized by a mentor, and the guest list already includes people from all political groups.
My eye is very much on London issues, but running a campaign takes a lot of dollars. So I need to be a little bit creative, a little bit scrappy to get that money in so that we can reach as many Londoners as possible with our message.
A Huron County teen convicted of first-degree murder made a brief court appearance before a Goderich courtroom this week. The now 15-year-old from Holmesville, pleaded guilty to first-degree murder after stabbing an 11-year-old girl to death in July of 2024. The suspect, who was 13 at the time, pleaded guilty in June. A sentencing date is expected to be set on September 1st. A psychiatric assessment is yet to be completed. The maximum penalty for first-degree murder under the Youth Criminal Justice Act is 10 years. Meanwhile, police say a London massage therapist is now facing 4 counts of sexual assault. 47-year-old Christian Javier Gutierrez turned himself into police Monday. He's now charged with 3 more counts of sexual assault after 2 more people came forward following his arrest 2 weeks ago. Gutierrez was released by the courts and is set to return later this month. Investigators believe there may be more alleged victims. Provincial police in Perth County are investigating a fatal crash involving a motorcycle and 2 cars. It happened Tuesday afternoon on Highway 8 just east of the village of Shakespeare. The 61-year-old motorcyclist from Kitchener was pronounced deceased at the scene. 3 people were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. London fire stations are now equipped to better support individuals with autism and sensory sensitivities during emergency situations.
This one touches my heart near and dear. To be able to make a difference and impact people that are having a bad moment is great.
The London Fire Department has received 12 first responder sensory support kits designed by the Fire Marshal's Public Safety Council and Autism Canada. The kits contain practical tools to reduce stress and improve communication. They were provided by North City Insurance Brokers, which donated 250 kits to fire departments across Ontario. The kits include fidget spinners, stress balls, and noise-canceling earmuffs.
So when we roll up on scene, there's a lot of panic, a lot of stress. You can open this kit up, and each kit, each item talks to what it does. So I know the earmuffs will help reduce loud background noise. I can put that on. The trucks are running, the sirens are going, et cetera, et cetera. The other side just kind of explains very briefly and quickly about what it is to be autistic.
We meet people on the worst day of their lives. It's either a car accident, a medical distress, emergency, fire. They're not natural occurrences, and they meet firefighters trying to do the best they can. And these kits will now give our guys, our crews, our men and women of the fire service that extra little bit, like that tool, that little something small that might make a difference.
Coming up, a proposal gone wrong. What happened after this couple lost their engagement ring in the sand? Canada's main stock index was up today, led by strength in basic materials. In Toronto, the TSX gained 186, while in New York, the Dow lost 22, but the Nasdaq added 143. The Canadian dollar is down a modest 1/100th of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold gained $26 an ounce, and oil is up 7 cents a barrel. Amid economic uncertainty, Aylmer is marking a series of wins that will bring more than 100 jobs to town. CTV's Sean Irvin explains.
At present, there is not much to look at inside the AIM Industrial Park in Aylmer. Save for one business, vacant lots dominate. 2 years after construction of this taxpayer-supported 50,000-acre facility was completed. But things are changing as more than 1/3 of the park will be occupied by a single employer by the end of next year.
Our initial estimates are 60 to 100 jobs. They might phase that in over a number of years.
The company that paid over $4 million to be part of the industrial park is Linden Door. The U.S.-based manufacturer already operates a distribution warehouse in St. Thomas. But Grizel states the firm is seeking a manufacturing facility in eastern Canada.
It'll be an over 100,000 square foot building, so it's going to be a sizable development, and it's going to be one of the larger employers in Aylmer when all is said and done.
Aylmer beat out as many as 8 other municipalities offering tax and development charge breaks as part of an incentive package. But beyond Linden Door, there is plenty of hope for future growth here. After all, the community spent nearly $6 million developing this industrial park. A bill that Grizel confirmed has now been paid, partly because of Linden Door and 2 other future sites slated for development, including a recently signed small-scale auto industry business. Suddenly, few lots are left.
And we are currently in the boundary adjustment negotiations with Malahide about securing more land for the future of Aylmer.
Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A bit of fog overnight and to start your day, but we're going to clear out, and we have lots of sunshine in the forecast for your Thursday. Thanks, Stephanie, for this photo of Bogart. If the two of you are heading out for a morning walk, the temperature is 17 degrees at 7 a.m., but it'll quickly climb in the afternoon. Still dealing with some humidity, so feeling like the low 30s. Stay with us. I'll have your weekend weather forecast with the chance of showers by Sunday.
Julie joins me now, and Julie, we had some rain, some thunderstorms out there. I was going to go for a walk, and then I just turned right around because the conditions weren't right.
Yeah, well, same story for me as I was heading out today. I thought, oh, looks like it's going to rain, and it really started to come down at times in the area. I heard some thunder out there, and some downpours.
And we have a solar eclipse today, and not the best conditions for viewing, but some people out there got to sneak a peek.
Absolutely, and we did have some viewers submit some photos. Take a look. So today, from west to east, a partial eclipse. Surely not as dramatic, but still pretty good. And that's as the moon crosses between the Earth and the sun, blocking out part of the sun. And one of the best places to see it was in St. John's, Newfoundland. Thanks to the viewers locally who sent in those photos. Conditions across our area this evening, mainly cloudy. Temperature high today, a bit below where we typically are, and that's due to all of that cloud cover. We have the stationary boundary to the south, and that led to some heavy downpours and some severe weather in parts of southern Ontario, with weather warnings issued. Satellite radar shows that system well off to the south, but there is high pressure building in from the northwest, and that high will settle into the lower Great Lakes as we head over the next couple of days. And what that means is more stability in the forecast. We won't be dodging scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll be talking full sunshine. Overnight in the city, we'll dip to 16 degrees. If you're near Lake Huron or Lake Erie, between 18 and 19, with some light and variable winds. A bit of cloud cover towards Essex County, Chatham, Kent, and Sarnia as we head into tomorrow. But generally, most of the area will see sunshine to a nice mix of sun and cloud. Area of high pressure, as I mentioned, building in. We'll have a nice light northwest flow as we head into the afternoon, but we won't be picking up strong thunderstorms. So with high pressure, that's our fair weather friend. That will mean lots of stability in the forecast, the sinking air, and we'll be out of that stationary boundary to the south. It's actually going to continue to drift further south, but there'll still be a little bit of cloud cover clipping extreme areas of southwestern Ontario. Thursday's forecast, 28 degrees. Beautiful day in the afternoon. We'll go from Sunshine to a nice mix of sun and cloud. Now there's some fog that will develop once again overnight, so we're not going to dry out the air. We still have a significant amount of moisture. So as we roll through the morning, expect fog first thing, but that will mix out quite quickly. Over the next 7 days, fairly pleasant forecast. Friday looks beautiful. Lots of sunshine, a gorgeous day. We'll hit 27, 28 degrees on Saturday. Lots of sunshine. We'll see increasing amounts of cloud cover heading into Saturday night. And then our next weather system coming in for Sunday with about a 40% chance of showers. Monday, mainly cloudy and 24, back into a mix Tuesday and Wednesday. Daytime highs coming in close to where we should be for this time of year. So no major swings, no major heat, no major cool. This is a good forecast, especially as we make our way through the mid part of August. Midwestern Ontario, you got a full Sunday for tomorrow. It's going to be beautiful and lots of sunshine as we head into your Friday and Saturday. Saturday night, the clouds roll in. Can't rule out the showers overnight into Sunday morning. And then there is the risk for a little bit of light shower action on Sunday. Monday, mainly cloudy and 24, and a mix Tuesday into Wednesday. Lauren, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. A local teen and his family can barely believe the past 6 months they've turned a small farm stand into a retail store, industrial kitchen, and rapidly growing brand. Scott Miller has more on Cody's Egg Shack and what's next for the teen that's quickly become one of Midwestern Ontario's most recognizable residents.
It's not quite 10 a.m. and Cody's Egg Shack in Walkerton is buzzing. At the till, Cody Russwurm, a 16-year-old with cerebral palsy who 6 months ago was running a farm stand selling eggs that only locals really knew about. Now, he's one of Midwestern Ontario's most recognizable residents with 90,000 followers on Facebook and his own full-fledged retail store and expanding brand.
Very surreal, and I'm sure we don't have accurate words to describe the last 6 months because none of this is probably what we had ever dreamed of or set out to do, but pretty cool.
Cody, a young man of few words, does have a word to describe the past 6 months.
Crazy.
3 years ago, Cody and his parents launched Cody's Egg Shack at their farm near Walkerton to see if Cody was interested in taking over the family farm. Last November, Cody's parents challenged him to reach 10,000 online followers and the family could get a pool. He reached that pretty quickly, but a visit from Dine and 519 online food influencer Jesse Walker in January pushed Cody to 50,000 followers in a matter of days. He now sits at over 90,000 followers, which has sent Cody's Egg Shack from a simple farm stand all the way to a retail store featuring his famous pickled eggs, an industrial kitchen to meet demand for as many products, and a growing brand that is recognizable across much of southwestern Ontario.
So we started this and just needed to be able to see what he could do, and now we've got a business that he's able to maintain, which is wild to be able to say that has all happened really in like less than a year.
Cody's family has used his fame for the community's good as well. Not only does he feature many other locally produced products on his shelves, his family raised $40,000 this February to buy 10 accessible tricycles for families with physically challenged children. That charitable spirit, the ability to authentically share his daily life with the community through his Facebook page, and of course that infectious smile brings customers from all over Ontario to Cody's 2 Egg Shacks.
It's nice to see somebody with a small business just doing so well in a community that has been so accepting and helpful.
Cody's parents say they've seen him come out of his shell and learn so many skills since they opened the retail store in July. Enough that it might be something he could operate with some help, but with less help than he needed just a few months ago. He likes it even more than farming, he says.
No, I would never.
No. You're gonna run the store?
Yeah.
In Walkerton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
A beach proposal doesn't always go exactly as planned. Earlier this week, a Toronto couple got engaged in Southampton but lost the ring in the sand. CTV's Alexandra Hollick has the story.
This is the moment Sam Bagel Learner proposed to his girlfriend Eliana Reamer on a Southampton beach Monday.
And I dropped the ring.
And this is the moment they lost the engagement ring.
I got up, I went to hug her, and her arm brushed up against my arm, and it was knocked to the ground. And so I looked down, and then all of a sudden the ring was not in its case.
My first thought was definitely shock. I was like, no way, this has just happened.
The couple stayed calm and started searching, knowing the ring couldn't be far.
We were just like visually like looking around, and we didn't see it, and then a little bit of panic started to rise.
He just asked her to marry him, and I think he dropped the ring, and now they're looking for it.
Within minutes of the ring falling somewhere in this area of Chantry Beach here in Southampton, the community sprung into action, posting a social media call out to bring metal detectors and a keen eye to the beach.
I came walking over to see if I could help.
Jennifer Bedard was visiting the beach with her kids when she witnessed the proposal and what came after. She posted on Facebook, hoping local beachcombers would lend a helping hand.
People started arriving like pretty quickly after that with their equipment to help.
Among them was Saoirse Johnson, a Southampton resident with her brother's decades-old metal detector in tow.
So at first I was just kind of sweeping wherever people told me to sweep. I didn't really know what I was doing exactly.
More than an hour later, it started getting dark, but the group didn't lose hope, closing in until hearing that sound of relief.
Saoirse?
Her metal detector went off. I used the sieve. I found it. But it was not a one-person job. This was a community coming together.
Honestly, I was sobbing when we found the ring. We were so eternally grateful for all the support and the wishes and people just coming down to help us. We were just complete strangers.
As for the couple, they say their wedding is set for next summer, and they plan to visit the beach again in the future. But their first order of business?
We'll make sure to keep the ring secure. We're getting it resized.
Alexandra Hullock, CTV News, Southampton.
Finally tonight, an update. The baseball cap that took the long way home is back where it belongs. Windsor Stars player Brock Whitson got it back at practice last night. After a pretty unbelievable detour, the cap blew out of the family car on the 401 near Cambridge, and it was too dangerous to stop. A stranger picked it up, then by chance spotted the coach in LaSalle wearing the same team hat. That's our time tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a good night.